a derelict ship left to rot. A human engineer turned it into a galactic superweapon. Rusting space stations drifted like forgotten memories, and derelict ships littered the dark paths between planets. Few dared to enter this part of the galaxy, except scavengers and those desperate enough to ignore warnings. Kara Tan had no fear of the outer rim. Humans had always been daring, curious, and stubborn. Where others saw danger, Kara saw opportunity. She was an engineer, one of the best among human salvagers, known for fixing machines that no one else could. She had rebuilt ancient shuttles, restarted long-dead mining rigs, and even restored old satellites that had been abandoned for decades. But nothing had prepared her for what she saw that day. The ship floated silently in the black. It was massive, far larger than any human cruiser Kara had ever seen. Its hull was scarred, covered with rust and cosmic dust. Jagged pieces of metal jutted out like broken teeth. No sensors or life signs flickered on its panels. To most, it was simply another heap of useless scrap, but Kara's sharp eyes noticed details that others missed. "Someone left this here a long time ago," she murmured, running her gloved hand along the observation window of her small shuttle. "Too big to just rot, too quiet." Her shuttle hummed softly as she maneuvered closer. The ship's design was alien, unlike anything humans had built. Its lines were elegant but intimidating, with long wings that curved like the claws of some ancient predator. Kara's heart raced, not with fear but excitement. She had seen derelict ships before, but this one whispered a promise. It had secrets, and she intended to uncover them. Docking at the ship was tricky. The docking ports were rusted shut, and debris floated lazily around the hull. Kara had to weld a small passage, carefully avoiding the corroded metal that could collapse at any moment. Finally, with a hiss of air and the clank of her boots on metal, she stepped inside. The interior was dark. Kara activated her flashlight, revealing corridors lined with alien symbols and panels. Many were broken, sparking occasionally. The air smelled stale, metallic, and old, like the ghosts of 1,000 forgotten engines. She moved slowly, her senses alert. Most alien engineers would have turned back here. Most humans would have, too. But Kara was not most people. "This place is amazing," she whispered. Her eyes scanned the walls. She noticed power conduits that still pulsed faintly, signs that the ship might not be completely dead. "It's old, really old, but not gone." As Kara explored, she reached the bridge, the heart of the ship. The doors were massive, dented, and covered in rust, but with some effort she forced them open. Inside, the room stretched wider than any hangar she had ever seen. Broken control panels were scattered across the floor, and the main console was coated with dust. The viewports revealed the endless black of space, dotted with distant stars. Then she saw it, a faint glow on the main console. Her eyes widened. Someone or something is still awake. She stepped closer, brushing away decades of dust. Symbols glowed softly on the console, reacting to her touch. The air hummed as if the ship itself was breathing. Kara felt a thrill that ran down her spine. "Hello," she called softly. "Can anyone hear me?" For a moment there was only silence. Then a deep, metallic voice resonated through the room, low and echoing. "Who awakens me?" Kara froze. She had expected alarms, lights, maybe even traps, but not a voice. Not a consciousness speaking after centuries of silence. I'm Kara Tan," she said, her voice steady. "I'm a human. I repair and restore machines." The voice hesitated, almost as if surprised. "A foreign operator in my chamber. Why have you awakened me?" Kara's mind raced. I want to understand you. I want to fix what is broken. Maybe I can help you work again." There was a pause, then the ship hummed, slowly powering its systems. Lights flickered along the walls, revealing more of the bridge's true scale. Kara realized that the ship was enormous, far bigger than any human cruiser, and still intact in ways she hadn't expected. Its technology was far beyond human designs, ancient yet advanced, with systems she had never seen before. Curiosity is a dangerous trait, the voice said. But there was no anger, only a faint trace of amusement. Kara smiled. Humans were curious by nature. It had gotten them into trouble many times, but it had also allowed them to survive and thrive where others had failed. She knew she could handle this ship. She had faced worse. As she began examining the controls, Kara realized the ship had defensive systems, shields, power conduits, and even energy storage units. But they were dormant, broken, or misaligned. Most species would have given up, thinking it impossible to repair. But Kara saw patterns, connections, and potential. She understood what others could not. Sometimes, the key wasn't to mimic the original design, but to think differently. Hours passed as she traced wires, adjusted circuits, and activated power nodes. She worked methodically, humming quietly to herself. Slowly, the ship responded. The hum grew louder, lights stabilized, panels flickered into life. The voice of the ship echoed softly like a whisper in a cathedral. "Your hands are clever. You may awaken more than just me." Kara's eyes sparkled. She had done it. She had brought the rusting ghost back from the edge of oblivion. But she knew this was only the beginning. She walked through the bridge, touching panels and consoles, feeling the pulse of energy beneath her fingers. The ship was ancient yet full of potential. Kara imagined what she could do: repair its engines, realign its systems, maybe even unlock powers long forgotten by the galaxy. She could turn it into something incredible, a weapon, a protector, a symbol of human ingenuity. Her thoughts were interrupted by a sound from the viewport, a fleet of small alien patrol ships curious about the rusting ghost. They hovered at a distance, scanning. Kara felt a thrill. They assumed she was vulnerable, that the ship was abandoned and useless. They didn't know that she, a human, had already begun to awaken it. "Let them watch," she whispered, her hand resting on the main console. "They have no idea what's coming." As she worked through the night, Kara mapped the ship's systems, learning its structure. She discovered hidden chambers, storage bays, and energy cores that no one had touched in centuries. Some systems were damaged beyond repair, but Kara's ingenuity thrived on challenges. Where others saw ruin, she saw opportunity. Finally, as she rested for a moment, the ship's voice spoke again. "You are unlike any being I have encountered. Perhaps you are meant for this." Kara grinned. Humans were meant for this. Humans had always turned the impossible into the achievable. They had survived predators, hostile planets, and harsh space conditions. And now, here in the Outer Rim, Kara Tan was about to prove once more that humans could do what others could not. Outside, the stars twinkled silently. The derelict ship, once forgotten, now stirred. Its engines hummed faintly, its panels glowed, and its systems began to align. Kara had awakened more than metal and circuits. She had awakened potential. The galaxy might have ignored this ship, but humans never ignored opportunity, and Kara Tan never failed to take it. Hours turned into days as Kara explored deeper into the rusting ghost. She found the central AI core, a crystalline structure that pulsed like a heartbeat. Its complexity was staggering. Aliens had long abandoned attempts to interface with it. Kara didn't need manuals. She didn't need instructions. She had intuition, persistence, and the human mind's ability to see connections where others saw chaos. "I sense understanding," the AI said softly, almost shyly. "You may unlock more than I can offer. You may change," Kara chuckled. "Change is what humans do best," she replied. And for the first time in centuries, the derelict ship was alive, not just as a machine, but as a partnership between human ingenuity and alien technology. Somewhere in the depths of space, something old and forgotten stirred again, ready to become more than the galaxy had ever imagined. Outside, the alien patrols retreated slightly, sensing something unusual. But they did not know. They could not know. A human had entered the rusting ghost, and humans always think differently. They see what others ignore. They turn ruin into opportunity. And this human, Kara Tan, was about to do just that. The stars blinked quietly, the void stretched endlessly, and the rusting ghost whispered softly, "Let the awakening begin." Kara Tan had always thrived on challenges. The rusting ghost was no ordinary challenge. It was the puzzle of a lifetime. As she walked through its enormous halls, she felt a thrill she hadn't felt in years. This ship was more than a derelict. It was a relic of power, ancient and misunderstood, waiting for someone bold enough to awaken it fully. She started with the engines. The power cores were ancient alien technology, massive crystalline structures pulsing faintly with dormant energy. Most species would have labeled them irreparable. Kara didn't. She studied the patterns in the core, tracing the energy flows with her hands and her portable scanner. The alien design was unfamiliar, but her mind, trained to see patterns, made sense of it. Just a few adjustments here, she muttered to herself, connecting human-made conduits to ancient circuits. Nothing the galaxy's smartest engineers would try, but humans think differently. Hours turned into days as she worked. She repaired energy conduits, rerouted power through bypasses she invented on the spot, and stabilized the ship's core systems. Slowly, the engine stirred, humming softly like a heartbeat. Kara grinned. The rusting ghost was awakening. She moved next to the ship's defense systems. The consoles blinked with red warnings, many circuits fried beyond recognition. Alien engineers had long given up on this part. Kara studied the schematics, her mind racing. She didn't need to follow the original design exactly. Humans were adaptable, humans improvised. By carefully rerouting the ship's energy, she could power shields, activate the energy projectors, and even manipulate the ship's orientation using the engines in ways no one had imagined. It was risky, but Kara trusted herself. Humans thrived on risk. Meanwhile, the galaxy was not blind. Sensors from distant patrols detected unusual activity near the derelict ship. Aliens whispered in their fleets. A human was aboard the rusting ghost. Many laughed. Humans were clever, but this ship had been abandoned for centuries. Surely, the human would fail. Kara didn't notice the patrols. She was focused on something far greater. Using a combination of alien circuits and her own inventions, she activated the ship's communication arrays. Strange signals pulsed outward. They weren't intended for messaging. They were diagnostic, waking parts of the ship that had long been silent. The ship's AI, still partially dormant, watched her every move. "You understand my systems faster than any previous operator." "You are remarkable," it said. "Thanks," Kara replied with a smirk. "Humans are made for puzzles." The AI's voice shifted, curious. "Your species, you adapt and improvise. You see opportunity in ruin. Fascinating." "Not fascinating," Kara said. "Effective." She moved to the weapon systems. The rusting ghost had weapons unlike any human ship, energy projectors that could manipulate fields, project concentrated power, and even disable systems without destroying them. The aliens had never mastered them fully. Kara's human ingenuity allowed her to see their hidden potential. By combining her own circuits with the ship's, she could amplify the energy without overloading the systems. The first test was cautious. Kara activated a small projector, aiming at a nearby asteroid. Energy beams lanced out, perfectly focused, cutting the asteroid cleanly in half. The rusting ghost responded as if it had been waiting for her touch. Its hum was stronger, its systems more responsive. Kara laughed softly. "They'll never expect this." And she was right. News spread quickly across alien networks. A human was tinkering with the rusting ghost. Alien fleets moved to investigate, thinking the human would fail. It had been abandoned for centuries. Surely, no single human could reactivate a ship of this scale. But Kara had a different plan. Humans weren't like other species. They didn't rely on fear, tradition, or rules. They relied on intelligence, creativity, and adaptability. She prepared for visitors. Using the ship's ancient cloaking technology, she hid most of its signature from sensors. Then she reconfigured the defensive arrays, not to attack, but to outsmart. Energy fields could misdirect incoming sensors. Small drones could relay false information. Automated systems could create illusions of activity. Aliens would see power, but not its full form. When the first alien patrol fleet arrived, the rusting ghost was ready. From orbit, they detected something moving inside the derelict ship. But it was faint, inconsistent, almost ghost-like. They assumed it was a trap, or perhaps the ship was simply malfunctioning. Kara had anticipated this. Humans thrived on thinking ahead. Inside the ship, Kara manipulated the controls with precision. Every lever, every panel, every circuit flowed with her intent. The AI assisted where needed, but Kara was always the one in command. Her decisions were human, bold, unexpected, and brilliant. Hours passed. The patrols grew frustrated. They expected chaos, failure, or at least hesitation. But Kara acted with confidence. She sent pulses of energy that confused their sensors. She created holographic projections of the rusting ghost moving where it was. The aliens tried to scan, but the ship systems responded faster than they could comprehend. "Your species, unpredictable," the AI whispered. "Exactly," Kara said, smiling. "That's the human advantage." As days passed, Kara explored deeper into the ship. She found storage bays filled with alien technology, tools, spare parts, and even small ships that had never launched. Many systems were too advanced to understand fully, but Kara didn't need perfection. She needed functionality, creativity, and adaptability. She built new conduits, connected old engines in new configurations, and even created energy shields that far exceeded the original design. The rusting ghost was no longer just a ship. It was a platform for ingenuity, a living test of human creativity. The aliens noticed. Smaller fleets began to circle the system, watching, analyzing, and preparing to intervene. Kara knew they underestimated her. Humans had survived worse threats than fleets of alien ships. Humans thrived on challenges that others thought impossible. She activated a small, controlled demonstration. Energy pulses radiated outward, harmless but impressive, lighting up the void and showing raw power. The aliens gasped at the display. Their sensors had detected movement and energy, but nothing like this. They had underestimated a human's ability to manipulate the unknown. "Not bad for a human, huh?" Kara muttered, glancing at the console. The AI responded with a low hum, almost amused. "You may awaken more than just systems. You may awaken the galaxy to a new understanding of human potential." Kara nodded. That was the point. The rusting ghost was no longer a relic. It was a statement. Humans could take what others abandoned and make it greater than anyone imagined. She continued her work day and night, repairing engines, stabilizing systems, and enhancing the ship's capabilities. She modified energy projectors to function in new ways, integrated alien drones into automated systems, and reconfigured navigational arrays to give the ship agility that no one expected from such a massive vessel. Alien fleets began to retreat slightly, unsure what they were facing. The rusting ghost moved unpredictably, like a shadow in space, appearing and disappearing with every adjustment Kara made. Her human intuition allowed her to manipulate the ship in ways alien designers could not. "Think fast, think differently, adapt," Kara said quietly, almost like a mantra. "That's what humans do best." The AI's voice was calm but tinged with respect. "You are unlike any being I have encountered. You are shaping systems in ways that surpass the original intent. Perhaps humans are the species I was waiting for." Kara smiled. That was the truth of it. Humans thrived in chaos, in the unknown. Where others saw limits, humans saw possibilities. The rusting ghost was no longer just a ship. It was a human achievement, a combination of alien genius and human creativity. By the end of the second week, the rusting ghost was fully operational in its basic systems. Engines hummed smoothly, shields glowed with energy, and weapons were aligned and ready. But Kara had not yet armed them fully. She didn't need to. She had already proven that a human could control a ship that no one else could. The final test came unexpectedly. A larger alien fleet approached, curious and cautious. They assumed that the human would fail, that the rusting ghost would collapse under her hands. But Kara was ready. Using a combination of cloaking, energy manipulation, and misdirection, she moved the ship through space in ways no one anticipated. The fleet scrambled to track her, but every move was calculated, every response human in its unpredictability. Kara had turned a derelict ship into a platform that no alien could predict, no matter how advanced. "They will learn," the AI whispered. "Humans do not follow rules. They do not fear the impossible. They adapt." "Yes," Kara replied, looking out at the void. "And that's why humans win." As the alien fleets retreated, confused and cautious, Kara realized something important. The rusting ghost was no longer just a ship. It was a symbol, a proof that human ingenuity and adaptability could achieve what others thought impossible. The Outer Rim, once a quiet and forgotten corner of the galaxy, had witnessed the rise of a new power, not just in machines, but in the species that dared to claim it. Kara Tan, a human engineer, had taken the impossible and made it reality. And the galaxy would never forget it. The rusting ghost had awakened. Its hull gleamed faintly under the distant stars, its engines pulsing like the heartbeat of a living being. Kara Tan walked through the corridors, her steps steady, her mind sharp. She had spent weeks reviving the ancient alien ship, adapting its systems and mastering its controls. Now it was ready, not just as a ship, but as a platform of human ingenuity. The Outer Rim, long ignored by most galactic powers, now held the focus of countless alien fleets. Word had spread quickly. A human had taken the derelict rusting ghost and had not only revived it, but made it operational. Many considered her reckless. Some thought she would fail. But Kara had learned long ago that humans thrived where others hesitated. Humans did not just survive, they innovated. She approached the main bridge, her hands moving over controls she had long since mastered. The AI, fully operational now, responded immediately to her commands. "You are ready," it said, its voice echoing through the vast chamber. "The fleets will arrive soon. Do you wish to engage them?" Kara leaned forward, her fingers tracing the holographic displays. "Engage, but on my terms. No unnecessary destruction. Show them what humans can do with brains and courage, not just weapons." The AI's hum was approving. "Understood. Tactical measures will prioritize efficiency, precision, and human ingenuity." From orbit, the alien fleets appeared. Hundreds of ships, sleek and deadly, advanced toward the rusting ghost, their sensors locked on. Their commanders had underestimated a human. Now they hoped to correct that mistake. Kara activated the ship's energy projectors, not to attack directly, but to manipulate space around her. Light bent unnaturally, creating illusions. The rusting ghost appeared in multiple places at once, ghost-like reflections that confused and misdirected the enemy. Fleets fired at empty space, their weapons harmlessly dispersing into the void. Kara smiled. "They never expect this," she muttered. Her human intuition guided her further. She activated the ship's defensive drones, small autonomous crafts designed long ago for monitoring, but now upgraded to assist with tactical maneuvers. The drones created decoys, feints, and distractions. Alien sensors could not distinguish the real rusting ghost from its illusions. "Human unpredictability, remarkable," the AI observed. "It's what makes us strong," Kara replied. "Humans had always adapted, always seen opportunity where others saw danger." The aliens had technology, yes, but they lacked creativity, and humans thrived on that difference. The first wave of alien ships moved in, trying to force a confrontation. Kara didn't panic. She had prepared carefully. Using the ship's energy fields, she created invisible corridors in space. The enemy fleet found themselves trapped in areas where the rusting ghost could observe and manipulate their movements without firing a shot. Hulls remained intact, systems functional, but the aliens' formation faltered. "They think with rules. We think with possibilities," Kara whispered. The AI hummed in agreement. She projected a holographic map across the bridge. Lines and nodes highlighted the positions of alien ships. Kara anticipated every move. She used the rusting ghost's engines to subtly shift positions, generating gravitational disturbances that forced the enemy to adjust continuously. Their confusion grew. The alien commanders signaled retreat, but Kara was not finished. She activated the energy projectors in a new mode, this time to create dazzling displays in the void. Beams of light danced and reflected, creating the illusion of hundreds of ships surrounding the fleets. The aliens saw threats where none existed, obstacles that weren't real. Panic spread through their ranks. "No attack is necessary," Kara said. "They will learn without casualties." Humans did not need violence to prove themselves. They needed ingenuity and resolve. The AI's voice was almost proud. "You have achieved what no operator before you could. You control this environment entirely," Kara smiled. That was the essence of humanity. Humans could face overwhelming odds and turn them into advantage. They did not merely react, they created. They adapted. They thrived where others failed. She explored more systems of the ship. Storage bays contained alien repair drones and components that had been dormant for centuries. Kara integrated them seamlessly with her human modifications. Automated repair protocols ran quietly in the background, ensuring the rusting ghost could remain operational indefinitely. Every system she touched became more efficient, more flexible. The alien fleets, disoriented and cautious, began to withdraw. Kara watched through the viewport as they left orbit, bewildered and impressed. Humans had no ships comparable to the rusting ghost, but that did not matter. They had intelligence, courage, and creativity, the true power of her species. "They will tell stories of this day," the AI said softly. "A single human with an ancient ship, controlling fleets far beyond their size." "Good," Kara said. She had no desire to destroy anyone. Humans did not need to dominate by force alone. They needed to show potential, to demonstrate that ingenuity could surpass raw power. Kara spent the following days testing more capabilities. She discovered that the ship's energy fields could be used to manipulate distant objects, to redirect asteroids, or create temporary shields around planets. She optimized the navigation systems to allow rapid, precise movement through debris fields. Every innovation was a blend of alien engineering and human creativity. For the first time in centuries, the rusting ghost was alive in the way it had been intended, but even greater. Kara had unlocked abilities the original builders had never imagined. The ship hummed with pride, if such a thing could be said of machines. Small patrols continued to probe the system, curious and cautious. Kara would engage them briefly, using non-destructive demonstrations. Energy pulses lit the void, creating awe-inspiring displays that the aliens could neither interpret nor predict. Slowly, they learned to respect humans. Human strategy, unconventional, one alien commander admitted over communications. "We underestimated them," Kara smirked. Humans thrived on being underestimated. It was a lesson the galaxy had learned repeatedly. One day, while navigating through the ship's engineering bay, Kara paused to examine the AI core. Its crystalline structure pulsed rhythmically. "You have exceeded all parameters," the AI said. "Perhaps humans are the species I have been waiting for. You create order yet innovate beyond limits." "We do what we must," Kara replied. "And we never stop thinking." Humans had always survived in impossible conditions, from frozen planets to hostile alien encounters. They didn't just endure, they excelled. As the weeks passed, Kara perfected the ship. The rusting ghost was no longer a derelict. It was a masterpiece of human engineering, a symbol of ingenuity and adaptability. Its systems were precise, efficient, and formidable, but without unnecessary aggression. Kara had proven that humans could take what others abandoned and make it greater than anyone imagined. The outer rim, once ignored and quiet, became a place of legend. Whispers spread across the galaxy. A human had turned a forgotten relic into a ship beyond comprehension. Fleets spoke of its speed, its illusions, its untouchable presence. No one had seen anything like it. Kara sat in the bridge one evening watching the stars. The ship hummed softly, responding to her touch as if alive. She had done more than revive a ship. She had shown that humans, though small in number and often underestimated, could achieve greatness where others failed. "The galaxy will remember this," the AI said. "A single human changed the balance without violence, only creativity and courage." "Good," Kara said, smiling. Humans did not need to destroy to be feared or respected. They needed to prove their minds, their adaptability, and their determination. That was their true strength. The alien fleets had learned their lesson. They no longer approached the outer rim carelessly. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, leaders, and thinkers capable of mastering even the most ancient technologies. Kara had not only repaired a derelict ship, she had rewritten expectations. The rusting ghost, once a forgotten relic, now gleamed as a testament to human ingenuity. "Let the galaxy watch," Kara whispered. "Let them see what humans can do when they refuse to give up." The ship pulsed with energy, lights shimmering across the hull. It was alive, aware, and under human command. For the first time in centuries, the rusting ghost was more than just a vessel, it was a symbol. A symbol of ingenuity, of adaptability, of humanity itself. Kara Tan, the human engineer, looked out into the void and smiled. The galaxy would never forget this moment. Humans had taken the impossible and made it reality. And in the quiet of space, the rusting ghost seemed to whisper its agreement. Humans, indeed remarkable. For Kara, it was not just victory. It was proof. Proof that humanity, when underestimated, could rise above all challenges, turn ruin into opportunity, and become a force no one could ignore. The stars stretched endlessly before her. The rusting ghost hummed, ready for whatever the galaxy might throw next. And Kara Tan, with human ingenuity and courage, would always be ready. The galaxy had a new lesson: never underestimate humans. They thrive where others fail, think where others stagnate, and achieve where others give up. The rusting ghost, a derelict once left to rot, now soared as the ultimate testament to human potential. And in the silent expanse of space, humans had claimed their place, not through destruction but through brilliance.